Radio.
Let's go. Let's go, everybody. Let's go. Good morning.
Hey, have a seat for a second.
Oh, my God! No way! Ah!
Personal foul. Clipping. Personal foul. Clipping.
Yeah, you got some 9 to noon clipping penalties outside of the studio. Chad Greenway is involved in said personal fouls. Hopefully there's no illegal touching.
Thinking of those days gone by now.
Thank you.
Some music in the air.
Oh, what's going on there, handsome? Oh, come on in here, AT. Got a second? Good to see you, brother.
Shake what?
Look at these game changers right here. Join the presentation for a couple of seconds. If you got a couple of seconds. I mean, it's not Courtney Cronin and Dan Orlovsky, but it is the Friday Football Feast with Chad Greenway, yours truly, Nordo by our side. It's the Friday Football. That's what it is. What's up, Chad? Good.
What's going on? How are you?
AT19, what's up, bro? How'd it go this morning?
I just snuck my way in here. Just wanted more time with you.
Right. Well, no, I'm saying, how did initials go?
I know.
I heard some of the CH.
I'm so bad. I'm so bad.
Yeah.
And I get one.
Yeah.
But today I had nothing. Like, not even close. None of them even worked. Like, even when they said it, I'm like, I would have never got that.
I've never gotten to, and I played a lot, and it's embarrassing. Everybody heckles me for it, but you know what? Hey, I'm the one in the studio. You know, they're still calling my name,
and what's
I get the call back now?
What's interesting?
You're out.
What's interesting with that is you two. How am I going to put this? Being next to you before so many games, you guys are so focused. And when I say wound up, I don't mean like you're running your race before the game, but I mean you're super excited and amped for games. Absolutely focused, and you handle pressure. So you guys don't crack under pressure. Yet this game is pressure-filled, and it sounds like there's a little crack in here from the game changers.
My mind just goes completely blank. And, like, there's not a lot going on there anyway. So
I was just about to say, it's not about the pressure for me. It's just I'm not smart.
Yeah. But it's a fun game, and I love to play it. Love to get the invite.
Yeah. And when I was listening before I had to get the presentation ready, it's somebody was talking to Adam, being like the two teams, Vikings and Steelers. And then you were like, wow, two teams, Vikings and Steelers. What was it, 5 games there? Yeah. But it's still kind of weird that you finished your career in black and gold, isn't it?
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah. No, you got to embrace it.
No, it was actually, as you know, you grow up, you think like, oh man, it'd be awesome to play for the Vikings. I finally get to play for the Vikings. Never thought I would ever finish anywhere else, and then I go play for 2 teams. How it all ended is a bummer, but like when I think about it, it's like those 5 games were absolutely insane. Just how it all happened. It's like show up, and I got 3 days to learn a playbook.
Yeah. You look at Darnell Washington, you think you're on the set of Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah,
and you're like, it's a blur, and you're like, I have 3 days to learn a playbook, and then you're basically playing a playoff game because you're playing the division rival.
Right.
Basically, whoever loses is more than likely out of the playoffs. And then every game after that was basically a playoff game all the way to the last game to play them again for everything's online. It was just insane. And then Aaron Rodgers and like all the like plays outside of the plays and the hand signals and all that. Like most stressed, I said it on NFL Live, is like most stressed I've ever been in my life. Yeah. And hopefully he doesn't take that the wrong way, because like in a good way, but like every day of practice, I was like, oh boy, like I better be on myself. If I mess up, I'm never getting the ball again. If I drop a ball, he's never going to throw me the ball again. And so it was the most stressful, crazy experience, but so glad I got to live through it.
Well, like from my perspective, looking at how that ended for you, it was like you
almost were a Dolphin.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure about that. I mean, nobody else wanted me at that point. It was done. But I from an outsider looking in, it's one of those things. You're going to be a Viking for life, right? You're gonna accomplish everything in people's minds at the Vikes. How you grew up, how you got here, the stories, like that's just a part of how the career sort of ends. Adrian did this for a couple, 4 or 5 years after his time with the Vikings.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Like, you kind of even forget where he was.
Like in a commander's uniform and a Seahawk. It was weird.
Yeah, like someone in 5 years, or I've been out for 9, going to be 10 years. Yeah. It's like people just kind of forget about that stuff. I can't remember like who I played with and what year, and all the stuff just kind of like it's just year to year. So you'll be all good.
And see,
forget about it.
For you, it's you guys veterans, okay, near the end of your career, veterans. With they go to U.S. Bank Stadium, Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center. And I may be wrong here, but the majority of the team will stay at the glitzy Omni and then have training camp at Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center. But not everybody at certain stages of their careers have to stay at the Omni, right? Mm. So like AT19 or whatever can go home and be dad and be husband, then come back, get to the facility at the right time, correct?
Not correct.
Really?
Certain places will allow you to.
Really?
So when I was in Carolina, they allowed me to stay at my house.
Okay.
Which was unbelievable.
Yeah. Nice. They needed Bryce to get better in a hurry, and you were important to that.
Yeah, which again,
you're going to gauge in.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Is like you never got the Omni. Period.
My freshman year of college.
Yeah. Were you engaged?
Yeah, I was engaged. Gauge B, 1101.
Canales did what? With Carolina?
So in Carolina, they've allowed me to stay at my house, and then it was amazing. But at the same time, the Vikings facility is pretty nice. Like the Omni is not a bad place to have to spend your time. Right. You don't have time to see your family anyways. Like you're getting home when the kids are sleeping. You're saying hi to your wife, and she's probably already asleep, and then you're waking up early and going back. So it's not that big of a deal, which also is kind of the old school mentality of like, why aren't we staying in our own beds where we're getting good rest and good recovery and have all my modalities and everything to recover? And
the answer to that question, though.
Yeah, I know. The young guys. I know.
And have you looked at Vikings history just over the years?
And Chad retires.
It's so true. The young guys, like, they just can't handle that freedom, which is so funny.
Chad retires, and then they come to the palatial purple paradise.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you were full-time Gage Hall.
I was Mankato full-time. I was Winter Park full-time, and I did get the 1 year at U.S. Bank, so I'll take that. But Winter Park, I'm a simple guy. Yeah. Right? I mean, we're both that way. It's like Winter Park was great. It was easy. It was small. You had everything you needed right in one spot. Media folks that, they were there, but like all the marketing people weren't there clomping. Like it was just like they were in the other building. It was
the blue building.
It's funny you say that because I came from, 4 years at the brand new facility, and then I sign in Carolina and I show up to the facility, and it is
what's it like?
I mean, it's everything's a 5-step walk. Like the team meeting room is 5 steps to your right. Yes, and all the guys, they're like, man, this place stinks. I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
It's so convenient. Like, I literally walk out the locker room to the left and the weight room's right there. I walk out to the locker room to the right and the team meeting room's right there. Like, it was amazing. Now we didn't have we
didn't have those multiple pools.
We didn't have
any cryo chambers.
Yeah. We didn't have we didn't have a cryo chamber. We didn't even have a receiver meeting room.
Wow.
So we just met in the team meeting room space.
Remember at Winter Park, like I just simply stand up, open the training room door, and just take one step to the right, and I was in the door. So media would walk in. It was one of those games I didn't want to talk to them. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and sneak in here real quick, get some treatment on something I'll make
like
up.
on a Friday?
Well, the best part about that is one of my favorite memories of that place is the veteran row.
Yeah.
It was like there's
killers over there. B-Rob, Pat Williams.
In the Winter Park locker room?
And they're all right by the training room. Like that was their spot.
And the cribbage game.
Yeah,
and the cribbage game on Friday.
Yep. And I thought you were going to bring up the dice game, but maybe that's a different one.
Yeah. No, that would be for the airplay.
Wii tennis.
Oh, yes.
All the good stuff.
So have you guys been to training camp much? I mean, I know both of you have been there. And are you ready for some hot preseason football action tomorrow at noon on KFAN?
I went once, and it was awesome. I love going back. Like I said, I've been out for 9 in my 10th year. There's so many people that are still there that were connected to me when I was as part of my career, whether it's equipment, PR.
And how is Lester Backley?
Doing great. Yeah. I got to shake Lester's hand, and I had to go wash it real quick afterward. I'm kidding, Lester. Love you. All good people. And I think when I go watch a 2.5 hour practice, I watch like 7 snaps because I'm just talking and chopping up with everybody. And that's what you love I love to go back. I don't go back as often as I probably should since I live across town. But you're right. You're right.
Well, you're
there,
busy,
right? You're right there on that side.
Yeah, it's super easy to get there. So I've been there twice. I went back-to-back days.
Twice? That's it? Last time we chatted,
I was back in Detroit Lakes for a week, so I kind of missed all of the first part of training camp. But now we've been going a bunch. My boys love it. And then every time I go there, it's like you said, Chad, like you don't get to really watch much. You're just chatting it up, talking to people. But it's so fun to be around the building and not be in a stressful environment.
Yeah, it's way different stuff on the other side of things. Yeah, you're like.
But what is there to the trained eye and those who went through the one-on-one drills? I mean, I'll never forget the joints at Cincinnati. Pac-Man Jones thought he was going to beat up 19 until 19 put 3 double moves on him and left his jock on the field. And then Pac-Man all of a sudden had nothing to jump on. So like the one-on-one drills. I've said this before this week. It happened at the night practice Sunday, and I've seen it multiple times. Like with Andrew Van Ginkel and Brian O'Neill, there's a massive amount of respect between those two. But when they do those one-on-one drills, they want to beat each other. Watching those two monsters, both completely healthy, go at each other. Somebody wins, the other guy wins, and then they tap each other on the helmet and go back. I think that stuff's so cool because they're giving everything they have. So like drills that you'll watch or you took part in, what are some of the most important this time of the year?
Well, wait, you think that's cool? The joint practice is the coolest part.
Yeah, it's coming up next week.
The intensity level,
that's the bomb.
There's nothing like it. And I'll argue that it might be more intense than a game.
Big time.
Because everyone's
not a regular season game.
I think it might be.
Wow.
Because everyone's fighting for something at that point.
Right.
Like starting spot, maybe it's to make the team, maybe it's, there's everyone's fighting for something at that point.
Yeah.
And so the intensity level is insane. Like I will never forget my first joint practice in Cincinnati. And the first play of practice, we started with special teams drills, and I'm the fullback on punt or the personal protector.
Yeah.
And first play, I line up. And
direct snap, Green Bay around the left side, 41. There he goes.
Yeah, there you go. I wish that was the play because I would have maybe had some more brain cells. But the first play of practice, just got your, do your little warm up. It's 100 degrees, straight humidity.
Yeah.
And my assignment is either the right A gap or the left A gap, and I choose which way the snapper goes, right or left. So I look and I'm like, okay, where's my easiest matchup? It's Margus Hunt in one A gap, and I forget the other guy's name, but he was bigger and badder in the other A gap, and I'm like, all right, here we go. Doesn't matter which way I send him, I'm going to get wrecked. And I did. I literally remember, like, I block him, did a good job, ball's kicked, I'm running down the field to cover, and I can't see out of the right side of my face.
Wow.
Like, I got smoked so hard, and my right side of my eye, everything numb. Gone. And I'm like, that's how I'm going to start. And the best part about it is before that practice started, Norv Turner came up to me and goes, hey, you're going to have a hell of a practice. Okay? Because you're on the bubble.
Oh, come on, Norv.
And I was like, all right. So, like,
are you kidding me?
I can't see out of one eye.
That sounds exactly how
and then I have to perform to make the team. I'm like, this is insane.
No, you didn't. But I mean, there are just some that always are like pushing everybody a little bit to keep them on edge. That's not a bad thing.
Yeah, well, there was a time in Adam's life that's exactly what it was, for sure. Now, as you got older, I'm sure that loosened up a little bit. But for me, from a timing standpoint, when you're doing the joint practices, you're doing those one-on-ones, you always like to see, like, inside run drill for us is a big one. It's just man on man. It's all physical. It's all going to be downhill against the fullback, or it's going to be taking the right angle or taking on a lineman. And they're all, they have nothing else to think about other than just the simple, here's a run play. We're going to go block these guys up. So that's always a drill you look forward to, or don't as you get older in the league. So you're like, okay, I don't want to have to prove this again for the 3,000th time that I can do this. And then the other one is with the world you live in all the time is just one-on-ones with the running back.
Yeah.
When you're in open space and you got to go take angles and do the right thing and make the play. So it's just.
So not goal line 11 on 11 one-on-ones.
Goal line's
the bomb.
The problem I always had with that, with goal line short yardage, it was like the third day of practice. And it was like, we just got these pads on, and it's like, okay, like, buckle up, here we go.
Yeah.
And goal line short yardage, and that's mano-a-mano. And then Childress is always famous for this. I hope you're listening, Coach. Which is always like, somehow the offense would get the advantage, and we're like, it was killing us.
Yeah.
And you get stop after stopping, and that D-line, Pat, Kevin Williams, Jared Allen, those guys were just nothing but just talk smack. So they just gave him the riot act. I remember Jared and Chili going back and forth, just cussing each other out at practice in Mankato because Jared was not happy with how he handled like the where the ball was spotted after like a goal line play. It was just, you love it, and you can't. that intensity and the pressure, you can't live in that world anywhere else.
Adam, I would imagine you and Xavier Rhodes probably had some extremely entertaining or physical one-on-ones in training camp, right?
Yeah, and that's the funny part is you have a different perspective as a player who's in it and somebody who's watching. Because I say that because like when you're in one-on-ones, like how realistic the actual football is it? It's really not.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But it's your opportunity to prove who you are and it makes it way tougher than an actual game situation when they have to read, run, pass, they have to play different coverages. They have so much more than just like, I'm going to play you man to man and I'm not going to think about anything else. I'm going to cover you. So if you can win a one-on-one, you can win on Sundays, especially when you're going against a guy like Xavier Rhodes, right? And that was the biggest blessing for me is when I came in from day one, I was going against Xavier Rhodes. Every single day, long, physical, fast.
Good holder.
Iron sharpening iron.
The crap out of me.
Really good holder.
Which literally set me up for my career because it made, when I go face someone else, it made it easy. I was like, oh, that's all you got? Like,
Yep.
And so there was a lot of great battles with him. And I remember a few times, like, I would torch him off the line and I'd have 3 yards of separation and I'm like thinking I'm going to catch this easy ball over the top and these long insane arms like come in and just tip the ball at the last second. You're like, that's why he was a lockdown corner because like he could get beat a little bit and he could recover like no one else could because of his length and size.
Yeah, the joint practices in Cincinnati, I'm glad you brought those up because I was right at the end of my career and it was the hottest practice I've ever been to in my life.
The size of the Bengals defensive line.
Massive.
Like I stood there and I'm watching you guys like Michael Johnson.
Yeah.
I just couldn't believe how big these human beings were.
And when you talk about Adam going one-on-one against Pac-Man and like
Pac-Man punched him in the stomach 2 times. I was right next to it.
Not in the stomach.
Face.
He ripped my helmet off because I was locking him up. I was blocking the crap out of him.
Yeah.
And I locked him up, and he got mad, and it was a clean block. Everything was good.
Yeah.
And he got mad, so he literally pushed my helmet up, ripped it off.
That feels really good, too, by the way. The nose loves that when you stood the chin strap.
That feels great.
Straight up the front of the face.
And then I got, fired up. And so I get in his face and he punches me in the face.
Jeez.
And then Vontaze Burfict comes over.
That's who it was, Vontaze Burfict.
And
he was clean. He was a clean player, though.
Big,
very clean.
Yeah.
And I think I'm tough, so I'm going at it. And they all have their helmets on, I don't. Yeah. And no one had my back.
Come on!
0 people.
How is the entire Minnesota moving company not running over there to get your back?
It was so hot. No one wanted to waste that energy on a little scuffle.
King Dunlap. That's the name I was thinking. That guy was in Vontaze Burfict.
He might have been in the other A guy.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it, though. I was right next to PA. You're just standing in Burfict's face with the biggest smile.
I was going right at him.
This thing is going to lift off.
Didn't you torch him in one-on-ones then?
Well, the story is I was about to go up against Pac-Man, and he said, no, I had to go against him. Someone else.
That's it.
I need someone that can.
And we don't need to say what he completely said. Right.
Yeah,
but he threw some stuff in there where you can't be throwing. On a football field, it's different than like into a radio microphone. But he looked at you and he's like, "Come on, man, seriously."
Yeah. Which is just fuel for the Adam Thielen fire, though.
Yeah, we had some good. I probably have some highlights against him that I could probably show.
You double moved him into the ground. He got mad. Pushed your helmet up, punch you in the face. That's how mad he was. Well, when it comes to like I don't know if you guys saw this on social media, but like Kirk O'Chain's cousins got mad at Max Crosby. And then they kind of went at it a little bit during the practice. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yep.
Okay, so I watched it, and there were like 4 or 5 seconds. Crosby's starting to get mad, and Crosby's going to be heavily favored if they actually start mixing it up. But that's the quarterback for the team. I couldn't believe nobody ran. No members of the offensive line ran over like, Kirko, we got you.
Kirko's entered like grown man strength, though, that age. So, I mean, that's the one thing he's got in his favor. Once you hit that 35 and up, man.
A lot of bench pressing the kids. On Friday nights getting ready for Sunday.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't like Kirko in that fight.
So, Adam, do you, in the deepest cockles of your heart, do you find yourself missing it at all right now? Because I'm kind of feeling like you do a little bit.
As of right now, I miss it 0%.
Okay.
Like, absolutely, like, I thought when going to training camp and stuff, I'd miss it. I saw them warming up, and I was like, I am so thankful I'm not. Like, for some reason, that is like my worst memory of football is like the warm-ups before practice, because you're like, it's hot, you have this like big practice ahead of you that, like, for me, like, every practice felt like the Super Bowl. Like, I felt like I had to perform at the highest level every practice. So that, like, anxiety of, like, all right, here we go. Like, I hope I'm ready. And the warm up, and you're kind of already like sore and tired, and the dudes on the field like that. Yeah. I'm just like, I don't miss it. I don't miss it at all.
And
like,
you're a veteran
right where I am right
and
now.
there are a bunch of youngsters or free agents who, from the first day of practice with no pads, I mean, they're full. So you guys may be half speed by design. Well, there are a lot of people who aren't half speed. They're full speed, trying to open eyes of position coaches, coordinators, and head coach trying to make the team. I saw it day one of camp. It's Jefferson. He's half speeding his way into this. There's a free agent corner named James Pierre. Now, he's in a hot battle with a rookie named Charles Demings for the third cornerback spot, which is very important. I mean, Pierre was 10 of 10 that first practice, not pads, but he was doing everything. This is my opportunity. I don't have your money.
He should be.
I don't have your money. I don't have your cachet. I don't have your contract.
Yep.
I got to try to lock you down, even if it's half. And Justin's kind of like, bro, what are we doing here?
I love that, though. That's what you want.
Yeah.
You want guys like that. And I think that's what, for me, why I kind of, at the end of my career, I knew I was done, because I was so burnt out of every day feeling I had to prove something.
Yep.
And so, like, that's great to see guys like that.
Yeah, you won't miss that. The part of, 10 years out, I was like, I don't want to go. I go to training camp. Like, this looks awful.
You guys are the bomb.
And
man.
that warm up is a good point, because that's where you set your mindset. We're like, there's no turning back now, baby. Here we go. And
so true.
And like in 18 minutes, you're gonna be taking on Fahutahi in the A gap, and you got to get your neck squared away. Yeah. And that's just the decision you make. And again, like you talk about it, because you're making a lot of money. You're playing the game you love. But there's still those decision points on, like, there's guys that tap out all the time because they have the check and they have all the contracts and the guarantees. And it's like, yeah, but you got to go out there and prove. That's how you become a captain, a leader, a guy who's played play as long as Adam did. Like, you make that decision in warm-ups and say, here we go, buckle up. It sucks, but we're going to get it done.
What, a couple of quickies to close here. Chad Greenway, thanks to Grey Duck Vodka, Grey Duck Spirits. Adam Thielen played initial, stopped by 9 to noon. That's the bomb. What's your guys' stance like now, or maybe when you played, on playing in preseason games? Okay, because both of you were very good at what you did. So, like, for instance, O'Connell, when they announced Kyler was going to be the first quarterback, he's talking about the Giants game on a Tuesday. He's like, they're all going to play. Okay, and then I was like, oh, well, maybe his mind's drifting or whatever, because I'm like, Darisaw, O'Neal, Van Ginkel, Jefferson, stuff like that. Well, the closer we get to the game, Justin Jefferson never has played in a preseason game, and I don't expect him to play tomorrow. However, if you're watching on 9 or listening on KFAN, Jefferson will be on the broadcast for the entire third quarter with me, Pete, and Ben. That's going to be the bomb. Can't wait for that tomorrow. But he's never played in a preseason game, and he's not going to play in a preseason game this year. But, some other ones, I believe, will get some run, certainly early in the game. Do you guys have a stance on that? Because, like, Kyle Shanahan with the Niners last night, I think he started with the 3s, might have mixed the 2s in for 5 seconds, then went to the 4s.
Yeah, I guess they come from the old school. It's like it was first preseason game, you play a series, then you play a quarter, then you play a half, and then you don't play at all. Maybe you play a series in the fourth, and that was it, and you played. But you had to, it's a different mentality going from a practice, even a joint practice, to prepping for a game, getting your uniform on, kind of your build-up. It's your first kind of dress rehearsal into a game. I think live game reps are different, especially when you're playing a position where you're tackling people to the ground. Like when you're playing linebacker, like, okay, I've been tagging off for 3 weeks, working on angles and working on these like fake tackles. Now it's for real. Yeah. And you got to run through somebody and get them on the ground. To me, I had to have it. I needed to have it. I didn't want to do it, but I knew I needed it, especially after when I was, year 3, 4, 5.
Even if you're not running the A and B list plays that you're going to run like a month later in the regular season?
It's just super vanilla. It's more about getting that game contact, wrapping up, bringing the guy to the ground, and it just allows you to feel like you're prepared. So for me, it was like, okay, now season goes, game speed ramps up, everything's faster, preparation's different. more playbook, but I know now that I've taken, I've made 3 or 4 or 5 tackles in the preseason. You just knock that rust off and know what you're working on is the right stuff.
I think it's one of those things where as a player, you hate it.
Mm-hmm.
You absolutely hate it.
But 2013, 2014, you looked forward to it.
Well, yeah, because that was my opportunity to show what I could do. But it's when you get to, that, I don't want to say you ever like prove it, right? Because again, like I was the type of guy that I wanted to prove it every single day. But you get to that point where it doesn't really like there's not going to be a positive for you from the outside perspective. Like there's zero positive from the people in the building or outside the building of what they think of you as a player. Zero benefit.
But why?
But from an individual, it like Chad said, it's the necessary evil. Like you get that dress rehearsal. You get like, okay, I'm going to be there 2 hours for the game. I'm going to do this as my warm up. Like it's the first time in a long time that you go through your routine that you're going to have for the season. And so it's so good. And like you said, football is a weird sport because like you don't really like a practice of football. It looks zero like a game. Mm-hmm. Like you're like, all right, 3rd downs, and you run 5 third downs in a row, which I think is the dumbest thing ever. But it's kind of like what you do.
Yeah.
Where in a game, it's like 1st down. Okay, now I have my thoughts as a receiver for a defense. They're thinking, okay, this is what I could get: play action, run, whatever. 2nd down and 7. Like, okay, now I have my process. Okay, now it's 3rd and 3. Like money down. Like if I don't make this play, I'm off the field. Mm-hmm. And so it's such a good thing. You have to do it because you can't emulate that in the NFL practice. In basketball, you can play 5-on-5 all the time. Like you can emulate it in practice. You can't do that in the NFL. So you have to do it. I hated every second of it my last 8 years of my career.
Well, think about this. It's going to be November and or December. And for both of you, but Chad's been out for coming up on 10 years now. Adam just got out. 3 teams: Vikings, Carolina Panthers, Vikings, then Pittsburgh Steelers. You're going to, there's going to be a big Vikings game on a Sunday or whatever, and you guys being scholars of the game, it's like when you leave the facility, there's still probably some stuff that you're looking at on Thursdays or Fridays in the evening or whatever. You can put 90% of it to the side, but that 10% is what leads to immortality. Well, you ain't got to worry about that 10%. You're going to be in the 5th row watching LaMelo Ball break down somebody with a crossover dribble, looking to alley-oop to Ant, not thinking about a care in the world.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That's a great feeling. Trust me.
You know what I mean?
Every time I have the like back of my mind thought of like, man, maybe I should, play a little bit more. I'm like, nah. Yeah. For that reason right there, like just there's so much that goes into playing on a Sunday that people don't think about. And sometimes we as athletes forget about it, right? Like until you're in it again, you're like, oh shoot, like this was not a good idea.
I think there's something to be said for, both of us. You fulfilled your potential, as I think is how you could probably describe it. Like, it's like you have this potential, you get in the league, you get the right situation, you created your own situation. I got drafted to a great situation. Now you fulfill that potential, you play your career. And you sort of empty the tank. And I think,
what a blessing.
I talked to like, Brian Robinson or some other guys that like, they were told that, hey, we're going to release you, got to go someplace else or you're done. Even B-Rob has said, he's like, I just didn't like that part of it. My career was incredible, but I wanted to be able to call my shot. Mm-hmm. And, in some ways he did as well. But I think that's one thing is like, I've always hung my hat on the fact is like, hey guys, I'm moving on. I'm done. Mm-hmm. I don't want to play anymore and raise these kids and move on. I think that makes retirement, your mind is just settled on, hey, I made it. I achieved this crazy
But
goal.
Not immediately.
No, I mean, it's just something that I continue to go back to through my thought process as I've been retired for so long now. It's like, that's what you're almost the most proud of that because you survived all, especially your stories, you survived how many chances to get cut and released and moved on and like these opportunities at practice and plays, like you just survived all that for so long. Mm-hmm. And every year is a new crop of young dudes coming in trying to beat you out. They're cheaper and younger every year. And it's like, it's hard to stay in front of that. So that's the thing you'll realize when you start to actually think back to it, you're like, dang, how did I actually pull this off?
Yeah, you think about, like you said, like empty the tank, right? Like I truly feel like that's why I'm not missing it because I felt like I emptied. I gave everything I had for 13 years.
Intent.
There's nothing I can't do anymore. Like that's it. That's all I got.
But think about it this way to close. I mean, I know both of you guys. I know prayer's important to both of you guys, and giving thanks for what you've been given is very important to both of you guys. So just look at it this way: that that you guys both had a dream. Okay, a lot of people have dreams, but they don't get realized. Not only did you guys have dreams, but you worked to have them realized, and then you won with the dream, and then it's over.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much to give thanks about just that if you smell the roses for a second and look at the totality of when you stepped away and what it took to get there. I think that's pretty powerful.
Yeah, it is. And then when you go back to the Vikings facility, you see all those guys, they get no credit that helped you for your career.
Right.
For my whole career and almost your whole career, it's like these guys, the Paul Martins of the world, all these guys that were just doing all this stuff, the Deaners, all the guys.
Barnyard Baby,
Tom West,
Terrell,
these guys that just, Terrell just sent me a box of Viking gear. I was giving him heck for like, can I get some swag?
Wow.
I'm outfitted. Terrell sent me this massive box of swag.
Lucky.
And I'm like, dude.
Your Vikings immortality. That's totally fine.
It was awesome. But that's the part that puts a stamp on it for me. Because at the end of the day, it's about the people. That's what makes it fun.
You guys are elite. Adam, thanks for the surprise. Noon, Fox 9 and KFAN tomorrow. If you guys get a chance to just take a peek, specifically early in the game, and Kyler, then to JJ, Wentz, maybe start second half, late first half, something like that. I think it'll be pretty entertaining. Yeah. Good seeing you guys.
All right, appreciate it.
Chad Greenway, Adam Thielen, Chad Greenway, and Chad's inclusion is courtesy of Grey Duck Vodka and Grey Duck Spirits. Part of the Timber Tech What's on Deck set list 9 to noon. Order produces, and I'm Paul Allen. Back in a flash.
You're listening live to Paul Allen at 9 to noon on iHeart.
Vikes Bites, 9 to noon, brought to you by Kinmount Exteriors, KinMountExteriors.com. And with Kinmount, by the way, it's the clear quote promise. You go to the website, windows, siding, roofing, and decks. And I would say this with Kinmount, they're in the customer service business. Taking care of you, these projects can be hefty, so no headaches, no guessing games at the end, the hidden fees, the change orders, the issues, all of that. The key to Kinmount is taking care of you. And whether your budget is big or small, KinMountExteriors.com is the place to go for help. Windows, siding, roofing, and decks. Now, a lot of football conversations still to come, 9 to noon, of course. But it just... as the stories... Vikes Bites.
Yep. That was a nice surprise.
How cool was that?
Yeah, it was sweet.
Yeah, Thielen and Greenway together. Some Skol Stories, really, at this stage.
Out of nowhere.
It still kind of feels weird to see that Thielen's not with the team. It's just... Greenway, I remember back, I was trying to find it. Let me see here. I'll play this here. You remember we did this when... we were begging Spielman to re-sign him.
Oh, yes. Oh, I love this.
He won't retire. He's been rehired. Ziggy heard me pray. We re-signed Greenway.
Yes. Love it.
So dumb. But as a guy that was always connected to our show as Greenway has been during, long before me when he first joined the Vikings and got injured, sadly, in 2006.
Yeah.
It was so fresh and it was kind of weird and it was kind of different. I'm not seeing him wearing 5'2". I'm not seeing him at camp. I'm not seeing the eye black. Now I'm just seeing Chad and he's here. Kind of felt the same way with Thielen.
Yeah.
And just, how he built up from just being... you're on the bubble there, Adam. You better have a good camp. Yeah, he led the team in receiving in 2016, Norv. Come on, Uncle Norv.
Right. 2016 was the joint?
2016 was the joint with Cincy.
Wow, so, he really was in, his third full year. So, yeah, he was a cinch to make it, but, yeah, Norv's just pushing him a little bit there.
2016, sadly, it was Sam Bradford, wasn't it? It was 2016 would have been, we did the joint practices. That's Teddy injury.
Right.
So it would have been
non-playoff year, I know that.
It would have been Sean Hill, and then Bradford rolls in because we flipped the pick to Howie Roseman.
Yep.
And it was a tough year. But, yeah, I think Adam had nearly 1,000. Diggsy right next to him. Rudy was in the mix as well. So 8-8 season. last year with Adrian as well. Khalil with the torn MCL, I think, in the border battle. But anyway.
Damn, good recall.
But seeing how he was on the grind, and you just better have a good camp. To 1,000-yard seasons, he was the red zone maven for a couple of seasons where he had double-digit TDs. And it was just, it's a cool career that he's had, regardless of how wonky some people feel that it was last year jumping to Pittsburgh for a spell.
Well, Adam will join us, you, me, and Alec Lewis, at some Friday football feast this year.
Oh, that's sweet.
Probably, certainly, like if he's around when we get out to Oakdale, then like Egan, Lakeville, so I've talked to Adam about it a little bit. He's interested in doing it.
As long as they're close to his house.
Every so often, he'll stop by and join us for a few segments for the feast, so he's going to stay busy that way. And once again, tomorrow, when you're listening to the Vikings and the Giants on KFAN or the Vikings Audio Network or watching it on Fox 9, it's a simulcast. Justin Jefferson is mic'd up for the third quarter with yours truly, Pete and Ben. And when we did that a couple of years with JJ, a couple of years ago when he was on the sideline, I think in a Raiders game, might have been that McCarthy game that he played, came out of it hurt.
It was.
Jefferson was fantastic. He was so into it for Tristan Jackson. And, at this stage of the equation, feels like Ty Felton, Jayshon Jones, Dylan Bell, Dante Fleming, players like that. Maybe from a tight end standpoint, we'll be down to Bartholomew, Jurasic, Marshall Lang, and
the third quarter, you're thinking?
Yeah, and having Justin in the equation, rooting for these guys to do things well. It comes down to the play call at that stage of the equation. And hopefully, there's some missed tackles, or I don't envision any deep shots is what I'm getting at that part of the equation. But if Justin's going to be on a microphone on television and on radio for an entire quarter, closed circuit to KO or Wes Phillips, you got to dial up one or two things that have potential to get behind CB 5 or 6 for the New York Giants.
Well, if it's third quarter, Carson Wentz to Dylan Bell, and then Abbott will be, I don't know where Abbott's going to be during these festivities. Maybe he'll be right here. And he'll be sweating because it's a simulcast. Here's the snap. Wentz waits. Dylan Bell, touchdown.
Yep. And then he'll get mad, and then all of a sudden, here we go, Paul! And I won't hear a word about that. Just how it works.
Vikes Bites. Thank you, Kinmount Exteriors, KinmountExteriors.com. I wanted to roll into some audio here. And Theo Jackson on this preseason game in particular.
We play in a somewhat real game. Honestly, we never take these games lightly because, it's still an NFL game no matter who's out there. So, it's the same feeling that I go throughout a regular week throughout the season. So I'm taking it very, very seriously. I don't know how many plays I'm going to play, but, every rep counts for me.
Theo Jackson, what's his lot in life, PA? We talk, hey, Jay Ward's on the come here. We love that. And now we have, of course, Jamal Adams mixed in with the safeties. And, we can roll through all the names, the Kane rookie and Metellus, et cetera. But, in terms of Theo Jackson, it was always, you wouldn't believe what you're seeing. I think he came from Tennessee originally, but you couldn't believe what you were seeing from this cat in practice. And you couldn't believe what you were seeing from him throughout training camp and even exhibitions. But then in the end, in Flores' defense, he had trouble getting on the field because Flores, understandably, preferred number 22 in the mix. But among these safeties, how's Theo been looking, if you've gleaned anything at all in terms of, what he's going to be able to contribute and opportunities for him this season?
Theo is solid. Theo is steady. Jay Ward is the one that it's not boom or bust because there really is no bust to the equation. It's just a matter of how quickly he continues to ascend. So 24 can give you a lot of position flexibility in the secondary, which Flores likes. The Miami rookie, Jacoby Thomas, has not been practicing of late, so I wonder about him tomorrow. And with Metellus and Ward and Theo Jackson and probably Jamal Adams. It's if you blink, they might be gone. They'll be there, but when you blink, they might be gone. With Adams, I saw when we were doing noon to 3, Adams was mixed in as one of the preferred safeties with Thomas not practicing and Flores just mixing things up left and right.
Yeah.
So maybe Adams physically is getting up to speed, mentally is getting up to speed, but I fully expect all of those names we just mentioned. KO said it Tuesday, said they're all going to play. I just can't see any way Justin Jefferson plays. He's never played in a preseason game. But outside of that, it could be very interesting early. But I think if they do play, there's probably a certain number of plays they're looking for,
right,
and certain style of play they're looking for to accomplish. Then it's the Bursich, put the whole thing on ice. Let's move on to Jacob Roberts. Let's move on to, I wonder what they do with Demings, because Demings and Pierre are in a legitimate dogfight for third corner. The Demings stuff that either people have seen or they've read from the beats, it's real. It's real, and he's jumping out of his skin, and it's more than social media hype. His size is fantastic, and there are some with the squad who are incredibly high on him as of right now. So number 20, 23, those are some interesting numbers to watch tomorrow.
Last bit for you here, and then we'll pause. Elijah Williams, he was a topic of conversation yesterday, I believe, with Alec Lewis when he was in studio. Yeah. And is he the odd man out? Well, we can get to that. But first, here he is talking about how Flores challenges him and really the entire defense.
By challenging your mind, when he sees something, a little hesitation, he's going to be like, hey, you got to get here, you got to get there, So that's definitely good that he challenges all of us like that, because it's only going to make us smarter football players.
Defensively, I know you guys look at the depth chart. I know you look at the big board and see the talent you have on this roster. What is this defense capable of in this season?
Man, the sky's the limit for us, honestly. We just got to keep trusting the coaching, keep trusting our technique, and we can go as far as we want.
Now, not being a coach and certainly not speaking for the team, with what I see or what I hear, Elijah Williams is having a fantastic camp. So if not 99's in the mix when they get to that 53.
Man.
Blake Cashman is potentially having the best training camp he has had since he's been a member of the Minnesota Vikings. And I say that because he's the one behind the Beefeaters. So there are those of authority who really like the physicality, size, strength, and speed they have with defensive linemen.
Okay.
Because Banks, Caleb Banks has played like 4 games since 2024, and we got the foot, though. So I'm not, with Caleb, it's like out of the gate, 50, 60 plays, 3-down guy, probably not going to happen. But how they mix him in and increase his playing time is going to be interesting to follow. Dominic Orange, too. He's going to play, and he's going to play a fair amount. Levi Drake Rodriguez is faster than I've ever seen him. So you got Elijah Williams and, Ty Ingram Dawkins is one of the 5 top performers for me.
Yeah, you're going to have 6 fat guys.
From what I've seen with strength and maturity and stuff like that with the defensive line, Redmond is Redmond. He's solid. They're deep. This potentially...
We went with 6 to start last year as well.
Yeah, this potentially overall might, who backed up Pat and Kevin? Like Jimmy Kennedy. Jimmy Kennedy was one of them. But so the name value may not be as big as some days gone by with Allen and Robinson and Edwards and Jimmy Kennedy and players like that. But the depth with what they have physically, big guys who can run, and everybody is super strong and physical. They're incredibly high on their defensive line.
I dig that. That's Vikes Bites, brought to you by Kinmount Exteriors. Check out the clear quote promise. Hook up with Kinmount Exteriors, siding, roofing, windows, decks. Oh my, KinmountExteriors.com.
On to two-a-days, which we have paused for a couple of days. We're going through the Minnesota Vikings schedule and doing two-a-days. And we have arrived at week 11, the Niners game at Mexico City, and week 12 with the Atlanta Falcons here. Their Vox West Durham will join us less than an hour from now. In fact, about 30, 35 minutes from now. And when we return, we'll get into those 49ers before Johnny Athletic, John Krasinski. He joins at 10:03 for a Covenant catch-up on KFAN.
This is PA.
Two-a-days to the Niners.
Yeah, week 11. We're going to be at Estadio Azteca Banorte Stadium, Ciudad de Mexico. It is Sunday Night Football. I want, and leading up to that, by the way, are you excited, PA, to talk about the elevation and how it will impact the players on the field? Because you've been to Mile High. Mm-hmm. Kid went to school there. So you're familiar with what 5280 feels like. Add another 2,000 feet to that.
Holy cow.
And
really?
that's where the Vikings and Niners will be playing. Yeah, I think it's about 7,200 feet.
I'll get there right now. I'm bandying about in the limited space my mind offers. The MetLife Stadium with grass. And it's like, I mean, I'm reading a bunch of stories about the Giants and preseason and stuff, and that was one of the World Cup venues.
It was.
Where they shifted the surface to grass.
Where the final was, in fact.
And it still is grass. So, like, players, I think it's still grass.
What?
Maybe it's not. Maybe they went back. But players and, a lot of them around the league are talking about their preference and what it's easier to run on. And when you have bad weather, what gets slick, what doesn't. And
they removed it.
Yeah, right. That's the bit. So why didn't they keep it is what a lot of people are saying.
Well, it's completely revived it. And Florio spent a lot of time kind of reporting on this and stuff during the World Cup itself, where the Kittles of the world, a lot of players are getting loud about it.
Okay.
But I don't know what this thing costs, but when you make a multi-use stadium, every new stadium right now, the reason that the Chiefs are building a $3 billion palace, and eventually you're going to see where the Bears end up and what they're building. It's all about multiple events.
Yeah.
It's all about, I want to have the nitty-gritty dirt band. Mm-hmm. I want to be boot scooting and boogieing on a Thursday night. And then because we have turf, I can still play an NFL game on a Sunday.
Yep.
And everything's okay. So I just don't, owners have always stood tall on that. I just don't foresee it changing.
Yeah. And I don't foresee it coming up on the simulcast tomorrow, quite honestly, because I think it's boring.
Yes.
It's boring in a preseason game where, like, if Max Brosmer gets to play, I want to share in limited opportunity in training camp. Max Brosmer is 16 of 18 with one drop. All right, so if I'm a member of the Brosmer family watching the game, and my guy got 2 starts last year, never has thrown or run for a touchdown in a regular season game, and he gets the opportunity in a preseason game, I want mom, dad, fiance, and everybody to hear, limited opportunity in training camp, but he's thrown 18 passes and connected on 16 in 11 on 11, and there was a drop. 1st and 10 from the Giants' 35. I think that's more interesting than grass, turf, grass.
Caught Bryce. Well, I didn't think it was going to come up. I was just thinking about the altitude eventually.
Oh, you're going to get what you're thinking.
At week 11, yeah.
When you least expect it. I mean, it's Allen, Beckham Jr.
Oh! Brosmer, caught, Bryson Nesbitt. Touchdown.
Don't need the caught.
Don't even.
Brosmer. Brosmer. Lang. Yes. 6-0 Vikings.
Here we go, Paul.
Well, if we're into the fourth quarter and it's 6-0 Vikings, then not everything we wanted to see tomorrow ended up panning out.
Very, very true.
Niners notes, we're headed to Mexico, and that's actually really going to be cool. I'm jealous of those that are going to get to go to that, because as a football fan, Azteca is a historic stadium, so enjoy it. But it's I've mentioned this or alluded to it multiple times, that it's going to take everything Shanahan's got, everything John Lynch has got, everything that they've built to avoid this distraction factor, PA. Kittle maybe back week 1 from the Achilles/early season. Okay, well, maybe back. And then what we've seen with those who have knee injuries in our favorite team's roster in Covenant, we've seen that generally takes time. Even though you're back, are you back? So Kittle, what are we doing? Michael Williams, their first-round pass rusher from last year. He's returning from an ACL.
Michael Williams?
Maybe. Or Mikel. It was M-I-K-E-L.
I don't even know who he is. Who the heck are these people?
He was a first-round dude last year. Was Mikel Williams, was he potentially Missouri? Well, now you got, okay.
Giants, couple of first-round picks.
Was he UC?
Arvell Reese was one.
Oh, he played for Georgia. Okay.
That Arvell Reese got some creature to him.
Well, and you're going to get to see, that's one thing that's cool about tomorrow, too. I think you're going to get to see him. They'll probably, who knows how Harbaugh runs things, but just kind of the Ravens aura. You might see Abdul Carter and some, maybe Brian Burns for 3-4 snaps. And that's going to be a cool part of tomorrow, too. Our Minnesota moving company early on. Will we see Christian? Who knows? But if we do, best v best out at MetLife. Christian McCaffrey is managing muscle tightness. He's in and out of practice.
Wow.
The head coach, I had audio to it, but basically he's blaming Tesla's self-driving feature as maybe it failed, I guess is how he went about it with the car accident.
And the phone was in the back seat. And the story gets more convoluted every time my man opens his mouth.
I know. It's probably time to move on from the car accident. And I think that they're trying to, but again, distraction factor, man. Yeah. The health. Nick Bosa, by the way.
If you stay hurt like this, you're going to go from a car accident to a season crash.
I should almost break on that. My point in this is we wrap because we got Johnny K around the corner.
Yep.
Trent Williams is being sued for $250,000 for not paying for a Porsche lease and not returning the car from 2021. Trent Williams in a Porsche, by the way. Ricky Pearsall's career has started out where he has been shot, which is nuts. And now he tore his PCL. His season's over.
Ricky Pearsall got shot.
Yes. Just before the season started his rookie year. Yeah, I think somebody robbed him. It may have been like an expensive watch or something. The IU cloud hasn't cleared. Deebo Samuel's back. Dejon Stribling. So you're right. You didn't see anything in last night's game. They really love this rookie wideout. They'll have Mike Evans in the mix as well. Stribling, my intel says he's a deep threat, not much of a separation guy. They got Drake Greenlaw back. He returns to play with Fred Warner after a year in Denver. They added Odigizua from Dallas. I think I pronounced that correct.
Yeah.
Big guy on the D-line.
Nailed it.
And so, you throw all of these things in. Raheem Morris. So, Saleh got a job with the Titans, so he's the head coach there. So Raheem Morris is now the Niners DC. They're bullish on him. The coaches, the right names are still there.
They got Mike Evans.
It's an aging O-line. The defense needs to be on the come for them in a big way, I think. And all they did is they went out and they won 12 games last year. So, if at some point maybe we can get Greg Papa on the line and see where he sits on what he's seen out in the Bay Area. But for me, everything says this is the most distracted team in the NFL, but it's still Shanny.
Yeah.
It's still the guy that we have ultimate belief is going to put the most competitive product on the field in a stacked division as the NFC West is. And that's what we're looking at. 7,200 feet in the air, week 11.
You looked more deeply at the 49ers than me. So, in that division, with the right to change the opinion, Niners, playoff team or not, it's tough, isn't it?
It's incredibly tough because conversation.
Unless Stafford goes down, the Rams are making the playoffs.
Two teams in that division are already in the playoffs.
Right, I agree.
And so in every year, there's usually a team, mediocre NFC South. So let's say just the division winner comes out of there again.
Yep.
A team with 3. You're either going to have 3 out of the NFC North or 3 out of the NFC East.
Yeah.
Which means that
West.
the Niners, out of the East.
Ooh, geez.
And therefore, that would be Eagles, Cowboys, and Commanders if that took place. Niners could be on the outside looking in.
The Giants are steamy, and people are looking like Alec, mentioned this yesterday, and I'm not mad at it, but he's like, I got to see it before I can believe. I mean, I've not gotten regular season down the road on the Giants the way I will regular season teams, but the Harbaugh impact is real. I mean, John Harbaugh gets things squared away in a hurry, and he makes really good decisions on the fly. If they stay healthy, they are better. They're better than I thought they would be.
But is that to go to 3 or 4 wins to 9? Is
Great
that,
question.
I mean, suddenly they're going to jump out of their skin and win 11?
Great question.
Like, I don't see it yet, but I'm going to get to see it. I'm going to get a peek tomorrow. So
I don't know what the season totals are for the New York Giants or the New Orleans Saints. I'd go over on both. That's just where the intel is now. We're gonna topic switch and mix in some Johnny K with some basketball and other stuff around the corner. Then back to two-a-days about 15 minutes from now with Wes Durham, who is the 22-year play-by-play voice for the Atlanta Falcons. That'll get us to Week 12 and Dem Birds at U.S. Bank Stadium the Sunday after Thanksgiving. This is 9 to noon.
This is 9 to noon, live on iHeartRadio and KFAN.